rape the brother, they rape the sister, they rape the auntie, they rape the tanty, they rob you of all your jewel, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are being viewed right around the world. Remember that. So share our live stream tonight, viewers. Now, we're going straight into this story because it is a trending story in Trinidad and Tobago. It has to do with $120 million that AMA wants to give attorneys for doing work for the state, as he's saying. Now, Attorney General Regional AMA has partly accused, called by Bartara Sawa MP Saddam Hussein for details of attorneys awarded state benefits to the tune of $120 million. The sum was part of an extra allocation of $124 million to his ministry as a $2.3 billion supplementary allocation to the 2024 national budget. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, part of the money was an extra allocation. AMA stated that from June 3rd to 36th, his ministry undertook an exercise consulting the attorneys and had then supplied some fees details to the House on June 6th. He said the fees paid to attorneys who have consented to their name being published amount in the aggregate to the sum of $10,996,000. However, the gross figure to be paid to attorneys who did not consent to their names being published amount to the sum of $51 million. So, Trinidad and Tobago, we are paying $51 million for individuals in Trinidad and Tobago. AMA call them attorneys, lawyers. So my thing is now, if AMA is the Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago, why is he not following transparency protocols? I'm going to tell you something. $51 million AMA could say, well, it belongs to John. Who the hell is John? Trinidad and Tobago don't know John. The cabinet does not know who John is. But AMA is saying, well, you know, John is an attorney, and part of the $51 million have to go to him. Is that transparency? So Trinidad and Tobago, $51 million of our taxpayer money is going to attorneys that we don't know. $51 million, I would say, is going up in thin air. I don't care what AMA say. AMA should be the first one in the PNM government and a member of the cabinet to come out and say, you know what? This is taxpayers' money. The people have a right to know who collecting their money. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay tuned. I want you to hear this video as soon as we come.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow. When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando. Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
So we're talking about ammo. 51 million
TT dollars have to be paid to lawyers, and their names cannot be published to Trinidad and Tobago with no way their tax money is going. Don't you think that's right? And Amos, who is the attorney for Trinidad and Tobago, wants to hide their name because they did not give consent. So what the hell are you working for the state for? It's $51 million going to up in smoke and we don't know who collected it. Dog collect 10 million, cat collect 5 million, rat collect 200,000, and we don't know. And that is okay with the attorneys and them, that is okay with the Prime Minister, it is okay with Amo. How much money did Amo collect in this whole thing? I sure he probably collect a couple $1 million as well. Amo supposed to say, what's going on? I am the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. This is state funds. Whether you like it or not, your name will be put up. And it's that easy. It's that easy. So are we paying taxes back money? I don't know. I'm asking now. Who is the Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago? Who represents Trinidad and Tobago? A big attorney like he. A big attorney like he. I want to tell all in Trinidad, they want to do their own thing. And from the time they start to highlight them, is the media owns this, and they want to make me look bad, and publishers think making Trinidad look bad. But when taxpayers have to pay money now, and they can't see progress, where their money going, is our fault, right? It's we fault. We paying tax for road, and we don't even have a damn good road in Trinidad. Recently, they do the highway. Going up by the Carney Bird Sanctuary. Let me tell you something. The road that they do, it's better than they leave the damn road just so. Millions spent, contractor benefit, no proper works done on it, and that is it. Millions spent. Let me tell you something. We in Trinidad, we too damn lackadaisical. We like everything as it going. Let me tell you something. I will continue to be on television highlighting Trinidad, highlighting the government lack of responsibility, highlighting contractors who ain't even want to take responsibility for their work, to give us a proper job in it. I will always highlight issues like this all the time, and I don't care who like it or not, because at the end of the day, my company paying tax. My company paying tax. If I wasn't paying tax, well, no problem. No problem. So viewers, take a listen to this video.
Between the 3rd of June and the 6th of June, yesterday, my ministry undertook an exercise to ascertain the consent or not of the relevant attorneys regarding the publication of their names for purposes of my being able to assist the House and members of Parliament today, consistent with my undertaking. The fees paid to the attorneys who have consented to their names being published amount in the aggregate to the sum of $10,996,865.42. The gross figure to be paid to the attorneys who did not consent to their names being published amount to the sum of $51,032,394.61. And the gross figure to be paid to attorneys who did not respond to the inquiry that went out to them between the 3rd of June and the 6th of June on behalf of my ministry amounts to $8,799,462.35.
So Trinidad and Tobago, do you think the Treasury should release money to these lawyers and them who refuse to let their name go public? Does the Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago, does he think that is okay to pay cat and dog money that we don't know about? Secondly, what type of job did these attorneys do? Yes, we understand they are lawyers, but what actually did they do for them to be receiving millions of dollars? So is money just spending without proper accountability? And Amos, the Attorney General, he's all well and good with this. He is all well and good with this. It's sad, it's sad. It's sad. It is taxpayers' money that is being spent. So how sure are we now that John will perform work for the state? How sure are we? Are you sure that Cat do work for the state and he's getting $1 million? Are you okay with that? Who is Cat? What did Cat do to receive $1 million? Or $2 million, as the case may be? We don't know. We don't. I don't care if the lawyers are vexed or not, you know. I don't care if Armour vexed or not, because Armour is taking out money. Number one, PNM are paying them. Number two, Armour is taking out money from his pocket. Is our taxpaying dollars going to pay lawyers? Our taxpaying dollars. What did Cat do for the state? What did Rat do for the state? In order to collect $2 or $3 million? We don't know. Are they friends with Armour? We don't know. I don't care if they're vexed or not. It's taxpayers' money. If I don't like it, so I ain't like it, so you know. Now listen to this. The MP added that government has a duty. Saddam Hussein added that the government have a duty to disclose and accountability to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to let them know where the money has gone and who is being paid the allocation of $165 million. Listen to this.
Today, the Attorney General now referenced some document delivered to the Parliament on the 6th of June, of which I don't believe any of us on the side have had sight of. We did not see that document with the names of the attorneys and the fees being paid to them for the fiscal year. I didn't receive it. I don't know if any of my colleagues on the side received it. And what we're being told, Madam Speaker, is only the names of persons who consented was it amounted to $10 million. $10 million. And the persons who didn't consent amounts to $51 million worth of fees. And today Trinidad and Tobago does not know who this $51 million is paid to. This is not the money from Balize House. This is not the PNM money. This is the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago money. So, Madam Speaker, the government has a duty of disclosure, transparency, and accountability to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to let them know where the money has gone and who is being paid with this enormous allocation of $165 million. We need to know that.
Now, viewers, he also told the government that they must be ready to be accountable to the taxpayers if they are taking their money, and noted that the opposition believed that the government owes a duty to full disclosure to taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, Madam Speaker, this Attorney General, the current Attorney General, had the two highest spends in the history of Trinidad and Tobago on legal fees. Last year, it was $190 million, and this year it is now $165 million in any single year. That is the highest spend in the history of this country with respect to legal fees in the office of the Attorney General. That is what it is, Madam Speaker. The simple point here, Madam Speaker, is if you want to collect taxpayers' money, be ready to be accountable and transparent to the taxpayers. That's the point. But we believe on the opposition bench, Madam Speaker, that this government owes a duty of candor. They owe a duty of full disclosure to be accountable and transparent to the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago. And I thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we now talk about money being spent and no accountability for this. Now, listen to the Prime Minister. At a time when the government is reviewing its costs towards social programs such as the Chronic Disease Assistance Program, CDAP, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that millions of dollars spent on crime fighting could be served the country elsewhere. You hear that? So too much money now is being spent on security. Rowley said a few people engaged in criminal conduct were damaging the country in more ways than one. He stated that the government has to spend a lot of money on security issues, both in the public sector and the private sector, which is a waste of national resources. So why now, if we're wasting money in security, $51 million are going to individuals, $51 million in taxpayers' money are going to individuals that Trinidad and Tobago don't know who they are. According to Saddam Hussein, he never even received a list of who will be paid $51 million. But the government want to talk about money wasting on security. He stated that the government has to spend a lot of money on security issues. So you go tell me $51 million going for lawyers that we don't know who they are? Does these lawyers exist? This is the question I'm going to ask the Attorney General. Does this $51 million that is going to be paid to attorneys, do they exist in Trinidad and Tobago? Now, Attorney General, you have something now to give to the public. Is $51 million being paid to ghosts? Listen to the PM now. The PM said those millions that is being spent on national security could be spent on education, health, and infrastructure. Listen to the PM.
We have to spend a lot of money on security issues, both in the public sector and the private sector. It's a waste of national resources. A few people engaged in criminal conduct is causing us to direct a lot of resources to them, to control them and their behavior and to protect ourselves from them. You can imagine if we were behaving differently and those millions that we're spending on national security were being spent on education and health and infrastructure and so on. We'd have been a much better place. And the more we have to spend is the less resources we have to spend on it. So they are damaging us in more ways than one.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to tell all of this before I go further. You see, in this little scenario here, I will not blame the Prime Minister. I will not blame the Prime Minister. We have a Minister of National Security who is incompetent to Trinidad and Tobago security. The man don't have an idea on how to deal with criminal and crime, runaway crime in Trinidad, just as Ula. I wonder if they have family somewhere along the way. I wonder if they have family along the way. Because they take somebody who doesn't know how to fight crime and make them the Commissioner of Police. And they take another individual and made him the Minister of National Security, who told us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that is not his job to make all the things. So what do you expect? Millions of dollars will be spent. Ola can't fix the situation. Heinz can't fix the situation. Why? Both of them have no knowledge on fixing crime and criminal conduct in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the Prime Minister went on to say that the government was also spending hundreds of millions of dollars on security items to keep people out of yards, while their families who have members of their families who are murderers and killers who are known to them. Listen to this.
I see people asking, are the criminals causing foreign investor? But that's foreign investor. What about local people? What about local allocation of resources? We are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on security items to keep people out of your yard. And of course, there are families who have members of their families who are murderers, killers who are known to them. They're supporting them, hiding them. Some of them hiding the guns for them. And at the end of the day, we are wasting not just time, lives and resources. And it's a job that we cannot walk away from.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, while he is being enthusiastic that things will turn around in the not too distant future, Rowley added that an obstacle the government is facing is criminal not being held accountable. So I want to ask Dr. Rowley, how you expect a criminal to be accountable when the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago is not putting forward transparency? If government members are not transparent with spending taxpayers' money, you think criminal will be transparent? That is one. Number two, if Erla was signing off, listen to me closely. If Erla was signing off on firearm license for businessmen and homeowners, let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago would have been in a better place. Forget who says the Wild Wild West. We rather have homeowners defend their property than to have criminals wreaking havoc in Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? When homeowners and businessmen have their firearm on them, when they're on the streets and they see robbery taking place, they can afford to stop and shoot a bandit. They could afford to stop and shoot a bandit. But when they have more bandits have gone and business owners have the fear coming out their house, what do you expect? You will get more crime than protection. We have 7,000 police officers on the street. 7,000. Some of them afraid to come out to shoot a bandit. You know why? You know why? The bulletproof vest where they have now, it expires. Imagine which police now, Trinidad and Tobago, go and put on a bulletproof vest now and come out to shoot bandit. Let me tell you something. Out of the 7,000 of them, if you get 2 persons or 2 police officers to come out there, you're lucky. You're lucky. Imagine TDPS have expired vests. And all they say side bashing. No, tonight is about the police officers now, so I decided to highlight it. Police coming out on the streets now with expired bulletproof vests. What you go get? And you get police being killed in the line of duty? And you go get that? You see, I go tell you something, eh? What we need in Trinidad is more licensed firearm holders. So when you're out on the streets, whether you're conducting business or you're driving from point A to point B, as long as you have a licensed firearm, you could stop and shoot a bandit in a robbery that's taking place. You're assisting the police. But when the police only telling all, if all see something, say something. We have no vehicle to start with. When they say something, the police can't reach. Why? They have no vehicle. They have no vehicle. 1, say something if you see something. 2, when I say something, all they have no vehicle. 3, have more bandits have gone than citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So what you expect? Do you expect security to be high up? No, security will be down under your foot while bandits above your head robbing you. And that is the reality of Trinidad. Why you think in other countries? Why you think the government make it easy for homeowners to have gun? That when they go outside and they see a robbery taking place, shoot the bandit. You are a licensed firearm holder. You have license to kill. Kill the bandit and done with it. As long as the bandit dead, we go fix it after. You're a licensed firearm holder, yes. What took place down there? Well, I see a man come out with a gun and some fellas police running behind him. I had a chance to shoot him and I shoot him. And you're done with that. 1 bandit less. But Trinidad, boy, your dead grandmother had to come out and stamp something in order for you to get a recommendation. Your dead grandmother. You see, a lot of men had this kind of experience. Because when there's a desk person, the only thing you know is 804 behind a desk. You know when the sun go up to when they go down. But she's commissioner of police. Kudos to no performance. Kudos to more bandits having firearms in Trinidad and Tobago than homeowners and businessmen. Well done. Well done. How do you think now? I'll tell you something, eh? When Real Talk go live on television and we insulting ministers, lack of performance on their work, how do you think a minister feeling? You think they're feeling good? And then first thing, our media house go publish on our papers. Media house degrading Trinidad. That's the first thing the ministers come on notice. The very first thing. Not too long, with the same Nicholas Christmas list. Heinz come out and say he worried. He worried about the state of Trinidad and Tobago being published as bad. in the world. But it's bad, it stinks. It stinks. Everybody know the drug man in Trinidad and Tobago, but Hines know them. The Attorney General know them, and police know them. But everybody else know them. It's sad, eh? It's sad. The minister living in Trinidad, the head of the police service living in Trinidad, but them men know the drugs man. The villagers know the drugs man, but not the people in the police station. Who's the people in the police station? The police officers. Yeah? It's sad to know this is Trinidad and Tobago, but I go tell you something. The day they try to stop me is the day some of them go get mad. But my light don't fail. It don't. My candle don't stop lighting. Government wasting too much money. Rowley further went on to note that the government also spending hundreds of millions of dollars on security to keep the people out your yard. Let's listen to this video.
I see people asking, are the criminals causing foreign investor? But that's foreign investor. What about local people? What about local allocation of resources? We are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on security items to keep people out your yard.
So you see Trinidad and Tobago, hundreds of millions of dollars are being spent to keep bandits out your yard. Is it working? Is it working? Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed, and to all the listeners.
Go right ahead.
By they give you silk. How come they give you silk and they give Fitzy silk? I wonder if they went to the silk cotton tree in Les Coteaux to get that silk to get them fellas. That is what we call mediocrity, you know. We're going on a rabbit hole and we are coming out to it, you know.
Correct.
Give some brilliant lawyers it. I don't mind you giving it, but oh gosh. And the one who they miss out on, it's Fitzy and Sagram Singh. I go and have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. So now, viewers, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar should be more responsible and stop spreading false information that the government plans to increase VAT. Persad-Bissessar said she had evidence in the form of a document of the government plans to raise VAT from 12.5% to 15%. I'll listen to this.
It's always very emotive. It causes people to react in all kinds of ways. It brings out all kinds of emotions. But it's really a management tool of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, for the second time, I want to make it very clear. Notwithstanding anything you've heard from the opposition, especially the opposition leader, there was no discussion in the cabinet about adjustment either upwards or downwards on VAT. That did not happen. So all the conversation about be careful, be aware, the government is about to do this, and the government, that is not true. What happened is that the opposition leader got access to some working documents of the cabinet. Those working documents started with a cabinet note, and it contains an appendix.
So Trinidad and Tobago, is Kamala Persad lying to us? Or is it that the document that she revealed, according to Dr. Rowley, is working documents? And if these documents are working documents, is the VAT going to be raised from 12.5% to 15%? As Dr. Rowley stated, a working document. Now, he added that the last person should be trying to prove or provide proof that someone is lying in his government is the opposition leader. Listen to this.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our circumstances can be influenced for the worse by statements like that coming from officials of the nation. When officials holding those positions speak, their words have effect. There are people in the financial sector, there are people in the business sector who will hear it and would be inclined to say where there is sound like that, there are statements. Where there is smoke, there is fire. I don't believe the government, I don't believe the Minister of Finance, and therefore I'll organize my business against the background that there are tax increases to come. That's what it is. And that is what that statement is about. And the last person who should be trying to provide proof to this nation that somebody in my government is lying to the country is the opposition leader. I don't want to go into any details about her conduct and her record, but I could tell you it's not good.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, he stated that while he did not give anyone cabinet documents, they passed through a number of levels of contact. And Pasadbi, sister, was not a lady without resources. Let's listen to this.
Cabinet leak is an integral part of cabinet operation. And as a matter of fact, it has been said that leaking takes, the cabinet is the only ship that leaks from the top. I didn't give anybody cabinet documents, but the cabinet documents passed through a number of levels of contact, and the opposition leader is not a lady without resources. I was in opposition too. So as I said, we have nothing to hide. So if documents of the cabinet end up in the hands of people in the opposition, we have nothing to fear. So I'm not really worried about that. What I want is that what is in the cabinet document is represented to the public truthfully by officers of state.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we will hear from Imbert after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. Become a member of Realtalk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Realtalk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Realtalk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. Remember, we are the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. Also, I just want to continue saying this, viewers. Remember, we at Real Talk here, finance company, credit union, we are offering you 4% on our fixed deposit. Now, Saieed, you are offering 4%? Yes. On fixed deposit? Yes. The thing about this fixed deposit is that you're getting your interest rate up front. So if you open a fixed deposit with us for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we are going to calculate your interest payment at the end of your period. And instead of waiting that period for it, we're going to give you it up front so you can enjoy your interest payment while you are alive. Is any other financial institution doing this? No, they are not. You have to wait out your term and then collect your interest. We at Real Talk Finance is doing something different. It is doing something different. Don't wait 10 years to go on a vacation from the interest. Go on your vacation one time. Collect your interest rates and go on your vacation. Go on your vacation. Pay down on that car. Pay down on that mortgage. You're getting your interest payment up front. Let me tell you something. We are a licensed and registered credit union in Trinidad and Tobago. I am also a licensed money lender. And let me tell you something. You Trinidad and Tobago citizens would know that me being a licensed money lender and the president of Real Talk Credit Union would not do something to lose. I would not have a finance company running and then make a loss. No. I've been in money lending for a number of years. And I just keep going and growing. Look, we open Real Talk Finance in Guyana. Pretty soon, Real Talk Credit Union will be in Guyana, in Grenada, in Barbados, and in Dubai. I know the length of my arms. I know the length of my arms. I told you I was going Guyana. Boom, we end up in Guyana. I have money lenders for Guyana, and pretty soon Real Talk Credit Union will be in Guyana and up the Caribbean. So trust me when I tell you, open a fixed deposit with us and collect your interest payment up front and enjoy the fruit of your labor. Enjoy the fruit of your investment. Let me tell you something. No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. None. None. And I could guarantee you that. If you hear this, if you go in the bank and they give you 4.2%, we matching that. If you go and they give you 5%, we matching that. We matching that. You see, I am about growth and expansion. While some people or some institutions just want to have you right there like a knob on a draft board. No, I want to move you. Enjoy your wealth. Enjoy the interest. Go for a vacation. Enjoy your hard work. Enjoy it. So as we go back to our program, Finance Minister Klung and Burt have stated that Opposition Leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is wrong in her statement that the government intends to raise revenue by raising value-added tax, or VAT, and imposing other putative measures on citizens. I'll listen to this.
Leak is an integral part of cabinet operation. And as a matter of fact, it has been said that leaking takes, the cabinet is the only ship that leaks from the top. I didn't give anybody cabinet documents, but the cabinet documents pass through a number of levels of contact, and the opposition leader is not a lady without resources. I was in opposition too. So as I said, we have nothing to hide. So if documents of the cabinet end up in the hands of people in the opposition, we have nothing to fear. So I'm not really worried about that. What I want is that what is in the cabinet document is represented to the public truthfully by officers of state.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this. The minister told the Senate he had this document and quoted from it. and revealed that if VAT decreased by 1%, you could lose $500 million in revenue. And if corporation tax is decreased by 1%, you could be at a loss of $300 million. Now listen to this.
It's a working paper that is presented to all ministers of finance, has been for the last 30 years. But the document contained no decision and no recommendation to the cabinet. And the leader of the opposition had that document in her possession. And what I find intriguing about the Express story this morning is it reads out a whole set of things and say, increase corporation tax, increase individual income tax, increase value-added tax. And I have the document right here. And it has decrease X, increase Y, decrease X, increase Y. And how come the newspaper and the leader of the opposition didn't read the whole document that said if you decrease VAT by 1%, you could lose $500 million in revenue. If you decrease corporation tax by 1%, you'll lose $300 million in revenue. Why didn't read that part? And this is what we have to deal with in this country. Political dishonesty. I condemn it, and I urge the media to be more responsible. I beg to move.
So, Embert, you have answers for all the questions. All the questions you have answers for. What about Auditor General Office? What answers do you have for her? What answers do you have for her? I want to launch investigation. What answers do you have for her when she came up with documents missing from her report? What answers do you have for her? You're labeling the opposition and the media house. What about the Auditor's General Office? Let's listen to this video.
So that those who want to talk about what this supplementation is all about, do some research and see whether the government in any given year spends the entire appropriation. But we must appropriate, because the other thing people don't understand, if you don't appropriate, then you don't have the legal authority to spend the money. And sometimes I have to explain that to my colleagues as well. Sometimes some of my ministerial colleagues figure we could just wave a magic wand and money will drop from the sky. It does not. You have to appropriate it. That's our legal system. But we manage based on cash flow.
So Trinidad and Tobago, will you understand that? Good. So we're moving on to Rohan Sinanan now, as he wants to explain the demerit point system. Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, wants the population to know that the demerit point system is under review and has been under review ever since it was introduced in May 2020. This is May 2024. Half of May 2024 went, and this document is still under review. Now, he said as a result, in this process, the ministry amended the minor offense list to remove the deducing of the points for defective fitting or blow park tail lights in May 2020. So if you had a defective fitting or a blow tail, you could go with a demerit point system. Now, in the current review process, Sinanan said that the ministry is looking to extend that the time suspending a driver and before a driver reaches that point, they can be remitted into a rehabilitation course. Listen to this.
And that we do have a culture that is different to most countries. And that is why every year we review the demerit point system. We did it in 2022, where we took off some of the minor offenses where you got points for a blown taillight bulb and things like that, because we recognize that could happen during your time of commute. And it is something that we continue to review. Right now, we have a review system taking place. We are looking at how we could extend that time of suspending a driver And before you reach to that point, you can go and do a course, you can do some sort of rehabilitation, driving, and you don't have to reach the stage of being suspended. There's several things that we're looking at because we want to ensure that we continue the drive to change that mindset on the road.
Let me tell you something, eh? All listen to this. Sinaran also took opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisasa to task for her comments that if re-elected, she would lower traffic fine because the government was using the demerit system as a scheme for revenue collection. He said the demerit point system has nothing to do with making money or penalizing people, but changing the driving culture in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, we go talk after.
The demerit point came in to change the driving culture in Trinidad and Tobago. It has nothing to do with revenue or just penalizing people. It had to do with changing the driving culture. And it was a fair system because it was a system where you accumulate points, meaning on your first offense, they don't take away your driving license. You accumulate points. And then when you reach a threshold, then we say, look, you need to go back and do some retraining. That system is not something that we invented in Trinidad. It is used around the world in almost all the developed countries.
So Rohan Sinanan, I will ask you this on national television. There were so many developed countries that proper road work, infrastructure were being done, and they had proper smooth road in other developed countries. How the hell we have it in Trinidad yet? How the hell we ain't have it in Trinidad yet? You know why? Because there is no accountability. There is no accountability. Now Trinidad and Tobago, we're going on to the part where you say making money or penalizing people. So a number of people who had called me and said, that's why I hit this demerit point system really, really hard on television, you know. A number of people called me. As they got 1 or 2 tickets, that is the demerit point bill up to 11, between 11 and 14, and they were suspended. Loan to pay, children to send to school, mortgage to pay, maintenance of the household, and maintenance of the family. Who doing that? Which one of them ministers doing that? How many of you who got your license suspended did Clive Clark pass and drop a little hamper for you? Which one of you all who got your license suspended got warning from the banks to come and make your mortgage payment or come and make your vehicle payment? How many of you? Did Rohan receive that? No, Rohan is a minister. He's driving tax. A vehicle that is being taxed by citizens. He's driving that vehicle. He's driving. Did Clive Clark drop hampers for you all? Did they make all a grocery payment? Did they make all a loan payment? Did they make all a mortgage payment? No. All they end up home for 2 years. But great is the PNM. And all are being penalized by the very same persons all put there. But Saieed bashing. Saieed bashing. The very same people all put is the very same people penalizing all you. But you won't open your eye to that. You can't open your eye to that because you know why? You're blind for life. Your ears deaf, you can't hear on TV, and you can't see what's going on even though you go jump a hole like this. You still can't see what's going on in front of you. Penalizing? How many individuals end up home because their license was suspended based on a ticket? And on the ticket now, you get 3 points, you get 4 points. Well, let's talk now. I'm sure Clive can't come out and say nothing. I'm sure Rohan cannot say nothing. You're talking about method use in developed countries? We're driving on a newly paved road and you're going like this. Like that. Why not bring down some machinery or hold contractors accountable for developing our roads in Trinidad and Tobago? You know, you're going to want to comment on that. All of a sudden, your lip can't open because it glued down. It glued down. But all I want to talk, developed countries. All I want to talk developed countries when contractors have no accountability to the government. When Works and Transport ain't even holding a contractor responsible for paving road. But you want to talk about developed countries? But don't be a clown and come on TV and make yourself embarrass yourself now. Serious. Don't do that. Because the world will be hearing you. The world will be hearing you. Imagine a minister saying, we get the road work done for our money, and when citizens pass on it, they swear to God they're in the ocean in a boat and they're going so. Yeah, you know how embarrassing that is? To know a citizen and a businessman in Trinidad lighting up ministers on television that is shown right around the world. It's sad. I want nothing from the government. Nothing. I don't want to add a $5 ad sponsored by the government. Because I will slam that back in their face. Now, he said that the merit system has nothing to do with making money or penalizing people. Good? Now listen to this. The minister also said, and he also called on leaders to be leaders for the public support as they continue to work in changing the errant behavior of road users. I'll listen to this now.
What I require is leaders to be leaders. We keep complaining about crime. We keep complaining. Crime is not only the guy who takes a gun and goes and kills somebody. We all have a part to play in crime. Every crime committed, almost every crime, a vehicle is used. And that is why at the Ministry of Works and Transport, we are in charge of road safety, the road network, the motor vehicles act and so. And we will do our part. But we need everybody to do their part and to support this move. What we ask is for support. The system is always being reviewed. It's always being reviewed. It is being reviewed now to make sure that whatever we put in place, we achieve the final goal, which is to change the mindset of how we use the road network. It has nothing to do with revenue earning for the government. I would be so happy if we could get up one day, have 0 road fatalities, and no income from penalties. What it means is that our society have evolved and we are disciplined and we understand the challenges that could come from road fatalities.
So Trinidad and Tobago, just before we close, hold on. Them study reviewed and reviewed and reviewed. You know how much people home on a suspended license? 37,000 people. Asking about that. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight. Until we meet again, good night.